Okay, Cass, I'm so excited to have you on for a lot of reasons, but you are our first repeat alumni guest
Wow, what an honor.
for Let's Get Dressed pre Friend of a Friend era.
Yeah, yeah. I love the rebrand. I think it's amazing.
Thanks.
You did
Thank
an
you.
amazing job.
I'm so glad I caught you while you were in LA.
I know.
What
Yeah.
were you doing here?
So we had an Orium shoot yesterday. So I wasn't modeling, which is great. So I got to just do the creative directing and styling and do some like behind the scenes and all the social things too. So that was great.
I feel like in our industry, wearing a lot of hats is like crucial. You really have to know how to do a lot of different things: creative direct, execute, be in front of the camera, be behind the camera, bring a product to life, market.
Yeah.
But eh, you have done it to like the extreme because you've brought a product to life. So it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. It's a lot. I'm trying to learn how to delegate as best I can, but I feel like when you're in a creative field, it's even harder
Hmm.
to find someone that aligns with your tastes and can kind of take over what you're doing, or even just being able to let go of how you're doing things and let someone run with how they see something. It's really challenging.
Yeah, because you just want your vision, your
I
rules, your
know.
thing. It's
Yeah.
very hard, but you're doing it really well, and I've loved to see the brand grow. It's actually been so fun to watch it blossom to where it is now. I think what I love most about it is when it first came out, it felt like a very natural extension of you and your personal style.
Hmm.
Like I could see how seamlessly it was being integrated into your everyday clothing. And the question I always love to ask my guests at the top of every show is how they get dressed every day. So tell me a little bit about your wardrobe and your ethos when you're getting dressed. Are you picking an item? Is it one of your belts? Is it an earring? What is like the creative around you getting dressed every day?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on where I am, of course, but my day-to-day life, like when I'm just at home, I typically start with just a simple base outfit. If I'm loving a pair of jeans that week, I'll end up wearing those jeans 3 days in a row. And I'll just throw on jeans that are comfortable or a pair of trousers that are comfortable, something so simple on the top. And then I always play around with my accessories. So that's kind of the whole ethos of our brand of Orium is the art of accessorizing. Dress simply, let your accessories be what's making the statement. And it's just an easier way of getting dressed. You can kind of just have those same capsule pieces that are can be really simple and then have some more exciting accessories that you're changing out day to day or making something feel more exciting. Or maybe I wear one type of belt during the day and then at night I'll like put on something more fun. And it just makes the whole process less stressful. I really never like think too hard about my outfits.
I mean, that's because like your pieces are the perfect cherry on top.
Yeah,
Wear jeans and a
exactly.
white tee, and like immediately the belt is like elevating it to another level.
Yeah.
I love what you said about simple tops because I think that's been something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Like, I feel like my top is the last thing I'm thinking about when I go to get dressed. Like, I'm focusing on a cool pant, I'm focusing
Mhm.
on like a statement jacket. Like, a lot of my tops are just like simple shell tops or like a white
Yeah.
tee. Like, it's not really the emphasis of my wardrobe. And I noticed that with a lot of style lately. Like, I'm not seeing like the cool ruffly tops, like the padded shoulders. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like maybe we did, at least for me when I first started out, it was like Gossip Girl era, which was like big, ruffly tops, like the big button downs and
Mhm.
and like the like ties and all. It was really about the top.
Yeah, I
Now I
actually
just it's like gotten simplified a lot.
yeah, I was actually talking to some of my girlfriends about this recently because we remember back in the day when we were younger, it was like, "What do you wear to go out?" And it was
The
jeans
going
and a
out
going
top.
out
The going out top. Oh my
top.
god, the going out top deserves like a movie. It
Exactly.
deserves an essay.
It's so
It
funny.
deserves some sort of like graduate thesis
Yeah.
because it's really lived a lot of lives. I don't personally have a lot of going out tops anymore. I'd rather
Me
wear like
either.
a really cool pair of jeans and like a black t-shirt or
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, one of my best friends asked me the other day, like, what tops are you wearing? And I sent her four, most of which were from Ref. And I was like, I have these in like six different colors, and that's about it.
Yeah, I feel like all my core basic tops I just have in a lot of different similar, slightly different versions, but they're all
Hmm.
basically the same thing.
Do you have any going out tops now?
No, not
Like, could you think
really.
of one in your closet where you're like, okay, if I have to go out somewhere in
I
Miami, I'm
have
putting this on?
yeah, like I have like some tops that are maybe just like more tight and like a tiny bit more sexy.
Right.
But like a black tighter top that I would wear with like a loose jean or something is maybe my going out top.
I just posted this because someone had asked me in like an AMA, and that brand Enza Costa that sells on
Yeah.
Revolve is like, I feel like your top is very similar to like
Yeah.
an Enza Costa top
Yeah,
right
I
now. Is
have
it?
a This one is Vince, but I
Okay.
have this exact top from Enza Costa in like 4 colors.
I feel like those have, like there was one that was, like, off the shoulder and, like, one that had, like,
Yeah.
a, like, zigzag down the chest, like, I feel like that's the only thing, and not to encourage everybody to dress the same, but, like, I'm
I
just trying
know.
to give
We're just being
some
realistic
just trying to
here.
help you guys out here.
Yeah, because I'm
The
not gonna put on this, like, crazy ruffly top to, like, go to dinner with my husband. I feel like he'd be like, "What are you wearing?"
You'd be like, "Where are we going?
Yeah.
What's happening?"
Yeah.
Also, Tay Park. I get a lot of my going out tops from Tay Park.
I don't have anything from them yet, but
Love.
Reformation, Enza Costa. I
Mhm.
do love, like, Kate bodysuits or to that vibe. I'm not always spending that much money on a bodysuit, but that kind of vibe I think is really cute and fresh.
I'm not a bodysuit girl. I wish I was. I
I
was for a
know.
second, and now I
They
can't do
are
it.
flattering. Like,
I'm
they
sure
just,
they
like,
are.
suck
Suck
you
you in.
in.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think for me, I don't really love this is so specific. I don't love the, like, seam line from a bodysuit, like, with a pair of jeans.
Yeah, that's
Like, I
fair.
don't love how,
If
like, the
it's
jean hits and
loose,
then it's, like, a tight bodysuit underneath.
yeah, I get that.
That's so specific. That's
Yeah.
the fashion girl in me being like, "I don't like that line." But I do like it in some situations, like with a great leather skirt or something like that. But
Yeah. My turtleneck that I always wear, it's like a black turtleneck, is a bodysuit, and it's like just a commando bodysuit. And
those are great,
sometimes
I've
it
heard.
does look like you have underwear on in certain pants,
Yeah.
but
What do you style it with then?
just anything loose on the bottom
Okay.
so that like the line isn't showing on the butt.
Yeah, you have to get like I would never I would get like a G-string
G-string
bodysuit,
bodysuit. Yeah, that's fair.
right?
Like
Because then I
Skims
feel like
has
I'm wearing
ones.
like tighty whities kinda.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fabric down there for me.
I get that. I get that.
So I feel like on Instagram, I get to see everybody gets to see a glimpse into like your perfect closet.
Oh yeah.
And I am definitely someone who admires organized closets and like aesthetic ones. What went into designing that closet that made it like seamless for you to get dressed every day?
Well, first of all, I didn't want to create it with doors, which I know is like not as chic, but
Controversial because I was adamant about doors in my closet. Why no doors? Tell me.
because I just know myself, I'm the type of person that would open all the doors and never close them. So
You're one of those.
I
Okay.
knew I would never it would just even be even more chaotic. I do feel like next place I get, I probably will have like a more chic adult type of closet that's like closed off. But overall, I just wanted to make it really simple to see everything and have it like curated. I have a little dress section, I have my blazers, my jeans all hung up. I'm the type of person that likes to hang everything. Everything I own is hung. T-shirts, sweatshirts, like everything. I don't like folding things because I know I'll just mess it up.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
All my t-shirts are hung as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, unless you're perfectly folding them, you'll get a crease.
And it's just annoying every
Yeah.
time you want to go through it. And
The
then,
only thing that I think I barely have any drawer space in my closet, and I designed it that way. I have a workout drawer, I have like an undergarments drawer, and then I have a drawer that's like sweatpants and pajamas and tank tops. Because tank tops, I feel like I can fold without them getting
yeah.
creasy. But I
Yeah.
totally agree.
Yeah. I have a few drawers that have like sunglasses and jewelry and underwear and all that. But
Your closet's a store, it's a proper store.
I actually, the amount of belts I now have in our closet is crazy. I had to just buy one of those tall, wheelie, like things that spins, like it's a store, because I have over 100 belts now.
But I love that. It actually inspired me to get those ones on Amazon that like spin open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because before I had them like hanging on a hanger and it was very hard to get through. I would have to like move my clothes to get to it. You can't really see them all. I'm really now realizing how important belt organization is because it can change your whole outfit, but a lot of the times they're like pushed and shoved in the back somewhere.
Yeah. I have mine on display. I have like my
Of course
little
you do.
acrylic organizers for them. And I also try my best to edit my closet constantly. A lot. It's my favorite activity. I do it at least once a month, bare minimum. I'm always cleaning out my closet and making sure it's very edited down, selling things or donating things. And I feel like I don't even receive that much products. I mean, I do, obviously, but try to keep it to a minimum. And I still feel like I'm constantly editing things down because it just makes it more stressful when you're trying to get dressed to
Definitely.
go through a bunch of things, and you want like a clear headspace when you're trying to put on an outfit together.
I mean, when I was prepping for this episode, I had all the doors in my closet open. And what I realized very quickly is you are someone who knows your personal style very well. There's no color in your closet.
None.
If you opened up my closet, it would look like the rainbow threw up.
Which is
Which is
fine.
why
I
I
feel like
have
people think I'm
doors.
like weird and boring.
No, you
But
just know your aesthetic, and I think that that is a really hard thing to find in life.
yeah, it actually developed over time. Like, right before I started Orium, I was very broke, to be honest, and I was an influencer at the time, and I was just getting tons of clothing gifting from random brands, mostly like fast fashion. And I would look at my closet and it made no sense. It literally was a rainbow that someone threw up in. It had so many different aesthetics in it. I felt like I was like, what is my style? I don't even have a personal style. I just wear what I get in the mail, you know? And it was when I was entering my late 20s, so I was kind of like, "Okay, I really wanna give myself a refresh." Like, if I can show up as anyone in the world, I wanna be chic and classy and more put together, and I just, woke up one day and decided to do that, and at the time, I didn't have the crazy amount of income to go too nuts. I was mainly going to Zara and more affordable places, buying a lot of neutral pieces. And that's kind of how Orium even came about because I felt like I wanted to be able to have simple pieces, but then I felt like my accessories were kind of lacking. Like it felt like my wardrobe was looking a little boring. So I think that's where you can really have fun with accessories. And I think it's also about I always notice what I get rid of when I'm cleaning out my closet, and I always noticed I was getting rid of the color. It was like orange pants. I'm like,
Wore 'em
"Okay, I wore
once.
them once. I'm
Right.
never gonna wear these again." So, just learning over time from getting rid of certain pieces and noticing the patterns and what I was getting rid of, I was always getting rid of color for me personally, just because I felt like I didn't know how to mix and match. And now I feel like everything in my closet just mixes and matches so easily because it's all kind of the same aesthetic and color tones and it makes it a lot easier.
I love hearing about this thing that you did of wanting to kind of reassess your closet because I feel like that's relatable to a lot of people in different stages of life. Obviously, as influencers, we get a lot of stuff. And I too had a moment like that where I looked in my closet and I was like, none of this feels like me. But I also remember feeling that way when I first moved to college. And my
Mhm.
closet before that was a lot of things that my mom had bought me or things that I like had from my younger years and wanting to change my style, feel like an adult, feel like a New Yorker. I was working at Teen Vogue and I was like, okay, we need to like rebrand here. What went into that process? Were you, like, mood boarding the things that you loved? Like, for people who might relate to that feeling and wanna revamp their closet, what do you recommend doing to, like, start that process?
I think you can definitely use Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I still use Pinterest a ton.
I mean, you are a Pin like, you yourself are a Pinterest queen, like, not to say that you're the user, but, like, I see your photos on, like, Pinterest all the time. People
Oh,
are
no
Pinteresting
way. Love
you.
it.
Love it.
Okay, great.
Love it.
Um, yeah, I feel like I just love getting inspiration from there, and I think you can kind of look to some people's style that you really like, pull some inspiration, try to figure out what it is you like about their style. Something that I think people need to do more often is try on looks and take a Sunday to just put a bunch of looks together. And because I think that's what we're doing so much of the time. When I'm styling for Orium shoots, I have to typically style for two girls, like 10 to 12 looks total in like one period of time. So I have so much practice constantly of trying things on, putting things together, shooting them, see how it looks. So if that's not really your lifestyle, obviously, which most people it's not, you can do that yourself in your closet. Have a day, listen to podcasts, put on music, whatever. Try looks on in your closet, figure out what you're missing, figure out if there's certain looks on Pinterest that you want to achieve, figure out what you're missing in your closet. A lot of times it's also like one little tweak of a silhouette. Like if you have a lot of baggy jeans that you're saving photos of and you realize, "Oh, all my jeans are skinny jeans," whatever it is. Figuring out maybe the little tweak in what the pieces are that you're missing because sometimes it's something can just be off. Like a loose jean with a tighter top is going to look different than a jean and a skinny top. So really just mood boarding, figuring out what you want your style, maybe like your 3 words, what you want them to be, however you want to do it. But then I think it comes down to actually
Trying things on.
trying things on and like
Mhm.
taking selfies. You don't have to show them to anyone. Like take some mirror selfies, figure out what you like on yourself, what makes you feel good, and trial and error, I feel like.
Completely agree, and I think this is a crucial point. The other day I was getting ready, and it was a Sunday, And I was just trying on a bunch of outfits. I'm going to Mexico this week and I'm going to New York afterwards. And I had nowhere to be yesterday. Or was this 2 days? No, yesterday. I
Yeah.
had nowhere to be. And I wasn't rushing. And I felt as I was putting on the outfits, felt some sense of urgency because I think a lot of the times when we're getting creative with our wardrobe, it's usually when we're getting ready to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I actually like took a deep breath and I was like, you have nowhere to be. Like, play around right now. See what works, see what doesn't. Like, the day is yours to just kind of figure out maybe a new look that you haven't tried in your wardrobe and things that you like haven't put together before. And I think that the point you just made is so important and so relative to that, where it's like, don't just find your style in the moments where you're rushing out the door. Find your style on those Sundays where you have nowhere to be and you have all this time to try things on and look in the mirror and trial and error. And it's not like you have this final destination. Like, practice makes perfect. And I feel like we don't practice our style a lot. It's just something we expect to happen as we're getting ready.
Yeah, even when I get ready, my husband will be like, "We're leaving for dinner in 10 minutes." I'm
And
like,
you're like, oh,
Okay."
okay.
And I look fine, but it's definitely not my best outfits.
No, it's,
All of my
it's,
best outfits, I'm fully a few days prior sitting there, playing around, trying a bit of like, it's a
thinking about it.
calming process.
Mhm.
I'm having fun with it. I'm not stressed. Exactly what you're saying.
I want to get into starting the brand a little bit because I feel like we're in the era of influencer brands, but yours has really done an incredible job of standing out. What was that moment in that journey? I heard you were just saying you wanted to, up your personal style, but also hearing that you were broke during that time is so interesting to me. So I would love to hear a little bit about what that moment of realization was for you that you were ready to start this brand.
Yeah, I think it came at a time where I it was interesting because I always, for whatever reason, thought that the path to starting a brand was building up my personal brand first.
Mm.
So obviously you can start a brand without having your own community first. So don't ever think that you need to do that. But whatever reason, that was my limiting belief at the time. And I think I had around 100,000 followers at the time, which was a great community, but I was by no means like where my following is today. And I just felt like I don't want to keep waiting. I don't want to think that, oh, I need to hit 1 million followers before I start this brand. Like, let's just do it. My husband started the brand, or he was my boyfriend at the time, but started the brand with me, and we knew that we would be great partners. He used to work in finance, so we knew we would make a great team and really complement each other. And it came when I felt like there was something missing at the time. I just felt like in the year that we started Orium, this was 2019, I felt like there wasn't any jewelry brands that had this more fashion forward, like fashion house feel. I really wanted this cool curb chain necklace from Celine, but it was like $2,000 for a brass necklace. And I felt like there was nothing that felt like high fashion, but more affordable. So that came at a time when I felt like there was a little bit of a white space. And then when we were launching leather belts and eyewear, I was so excited about the leather belts because I felt like there was something missing in the space where we were, handcrafting everything in Italy. Everything is super high quality, designer level materials, but at a fraction of the price point. I felt like there was something missing in the market that I felt like we could serve everyone for. And I think that's why, even just the belts alone, it's been a year since we've launched them. And it's almost like 50 or 60% of our business now. It's pretty crazy.
It's so funny, not to say that I don't like know your business from seeing it so much, but I think of you belts first now.
Yeah.
Like, truly, I'm like, that is the brand that I go to when I need a new belt.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we just keep coming out with new belt styles, and I feel like people are starting to really catch on to, you don't just need a black belt in your closet. You can have a lot of fun with your belts, and you'll end up probably wearing them all the time. Like, I wear a belt every single day now when I get dressed. I feel weird without something on. It's the best accessory to pull your look together.
I actually can't tell you how many of like my followers in my community will say to me like, "Hey, can you do a belt guide? Like,
Interesting.
how should I wear a belt? What do I style it with? Do I need a skinny belt? Do I need a thick belt?" And to me, belt is all about proportions in your
Mhm.
body, and so I never felt like I could do this universal guide, but people are very interested right now, and I think see the not the value, but like aesthetically want that in their wardrobe.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with more of this, quiet luxury or just more timeless style evolving. I also think it has to do with, as you evolve in your wardrobe and you get a little older, maybe you're entering the workforce, you're kind of like, okay, I have to wear black trousers to work. How can I make this
Look a little
interesting?
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
100%.
think it also has to do with maybe the stage that you're at. But then even when I'm trying to look cool to go to dinner, I'm always wearing a cool studded belt. Like I think there's so many different ways you could take it and create looks that feel completely different. We did a pop up a few weeks ago and it was really interesting because we had a really cool belts wall build out with like 50 SKUs of belts. And everyone came in with completely different things they were looking for. Like some people were like, okay, I don't have any belts. Where should I start? And I'm like, okay, I think this is a good starter belt. Like, dip your toes. Then there's the girl who has a bunch and she goes straight for all the crazy studded pieces. And, or a lot of girls have belts and they're like, okay, I want the Bordeaux croc, something I can have a little fun with. So there's so many options to play around with, and they really do make your looks completely different.
Okay, controversial question. Do you think your belt always needs to match your shoes?
No.
Ugh, I do.
You do?
It's
I've
my
never
li
even heard that. I'm
I
not proud.
just
My belt doesn't match my shoes.
Oh my god, you're right, and you look great. Every time I mismatch a belt to my shoes, I look psychotic.
Huh. I've never heard anyone say this.
I'm someone who is, like, just now also mismatching my shoes and bag. Maybe it's, like, my own fashion rules, but yeah, I never feel like I look good when the belt and the shoes don't match.
Wait, that's really interesting because I would also consider myself someone who's very
Yeah,
matchy matchy.
you're
Like,
also very I can see how
not too many
meticulous and
colors,
mathematical you
not
are.
too many
Yep,
textures. I
yep.
really try to keep it to a
No, you're
minimum.
giving me good inspo over here, I like it. I love
But
it. By the way, guys, I got a comment on the YouTube last week about how I'm, like, talking about people's shoes on the show, and they're like, "Liv, we
we
can't see
can't
their
see the
shoes."
shoes.
She's wearing black, like, penny loafers right now and a brown belt with a silver
Yeah.
buckle on it, and it's very chic and great.
These are my row loafers. These are the best
Love
loafers of
them.
all time.
They're so great. They look so good on you. Okay, I'm gonna send you pictures for fun.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna make
can.
this little series, guys.
Yeah.
Liv gets over not matching her belts to her shoes. We all have our own, like, limiting beliefs and things that, like, just we nitpick at in our style. We all
Yeah.
do. You mentioned something earlier that I'm interested to hear your opinion on now, having started a brand. Do you think that that limiting belief that you need a large community on social media to start a brand is true?
Not at all. I almost think that nowadays people almost have this, negative opinion if you are an influencer brand sometimes. Like sometimes it can
Big
work it
time.
against you, where people just assuming maybe you're not having the best intentions behind what you're doing. Like I feel like for us at Orium, so much of what I do and care about, the entire center of everything we do is about the quality and making the choices to maybe even if it's not the best margins, but the best quality that we can possibly deliver to our customers. And I think not every single brand is like that, but I think you kind of have to just like do what's true to you. And I think even if you have a small community, I think those are the people that are typically have a really loyal, trustworthy community.
I also think product is king. And if your product is
Totally.
good, you can have the smallest amount of marketing. I think about how often I watch Shark Tank, and some of these brands are making millions of dollars a year, and I've never heard of them.
Yeah,
And
it's
then I go,
crazy.
like, look on their Instagram, and they've got, like, nothing going on there, 0 marketing, but because the product is good, they have repeat customers, and people share their products, and, like, that kind of, like, almost viral version of word of mouth is even more
Yeah.
powerful than any kind of marketing.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I spoke about this recently how I don't necessarily think marketing is our number one strong suit. I think design and quality and being able to find amazing manufacturers is our strong suit. And the quality, I think, speaks for itself. And I think when you are, quote unquote, an influencer brand, which I don't feel like we are, but you know, we just launched in Nordstrom, for example. If someone
Congrats.
thank you. If
Mhm.
someone walks into Nordstrom and sees our belts, they have no idea who I am. Even if they have no idea what Orium is, they need to be able to see it and like it and think it's worth spending their money on. So I think marketing can only kind of take you so far. I think products, especially in fashion, is really at the forefront of making people's want to buy from your brand because if it's next to a bunch of other brands, you need to be able to stand out or be aligned with the people you're in the shelves with.
Why do you think right now we're seeing more accessory brands that more like now more than ever? And it's interesting as you were talking earlier about that industry not having really like anything interesting that felt high end and designer, I flashed back to what I used to buy before I knew of your brand, which was like, okay, where did I go when I was a kid? I went to Claire's. And then
Same.
where was I going in college? I was going to Bobble Bar, which like is not high end at all. It is like,
Crap.
yeah, and like bright colors and awful design. So it's almost like that industry was really ripe for innovation. And why do you think that is?
I think it has to do with, at least for me, especially in jewelry, I am not a huge diamond girl, for example. Like, I don't need to be drenched in diamonds day to day. But when you're getting older and you want kind of a more fashion jewelry look, but you also don't want it to look crappy. Like, I think that's kind of where the ethos of our whole brand exists, is the point of the accessories for us is to elevate your look and make it look more expensive so that you could wear like a Hanes white t-shirt, a pair of trousers from Zara, but you put on a belt that actually makes your whole look expensive now. And I think that more mature type of aesthetic, when you're in your 20s, 30s, I mean, honestly, any age, where you want to just have like fun fashion accessories, but they don't need to be solid gold. If you had a pair of earrings that were like this and or a cuff like this in solid gold, that's costing you
For people
15K up.
for people who are listening, she's wearing like a really big, like a good silver cuff, and then her earrings are like kind of this like oblong, long
Yeah, these
shape
are one of my
silver.
favorites.
They're gorgeous. I also think I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up, like, the Saint Laurent accessories of it all. I feel
Yeah.
like when they really started to invest in their accessories again a few years back, and you were seeing these, like, incredible, like, big gold earrings on Hailey Bieber, and they were really kind of making the rounds in the fashion world, I feel like people who love fashion really got excited about that vintage aesthetic and wanted to bring it into their home.
It's interesting, obviously, I'm so in it, so I'm very knowledgeable now about jewelry and what it's made out of. So when I see these designer brands and what the jewelry is actually made out of and what they're charging, I'm like
Screaming.
screaming. I'm like, "What?"
Screaming.
All anyone wants to do is figure out how to get your margins to be the highest they can possibly be. And I'm like, it's not really what brings me joy about running my brands. Obviously, I know that's the business side of things, but I feel like what makes us different is being able to provide something that's amazing to people for,
A
I
great
don't want to like
price, yeah.
move where we make everything and make it crappier and keep the price.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in your pop-up, how you were just saying that people were coming in and kind of were starting at different levels of
Yeah.
the accessories they were going for, the starting point of a black belt to something a little bit more stylish like the studded belt, and I frequently get asked how to kind of figure out your jewelry DNA, as I like to call it. Like, what are the things in your closet that you're reaching for that feel like you and go with your wardrobe? Accessories queen, what's your best tip on accomplishing that?
I think it's just kind of what you gravitate towards. I think I everyone has such a unique style, so it's hard for me to say, "Oh, wear just all black and a cool belt." I don't think that's how you have to dress. I think if you have a more eclectic style, you can incorporate a giant studded belt and have fun with it. I think in order to find your DNA, just figure out what speaks to you. Try one piece at a time. Try a cool statement earring. See how much you wear it. Don't be afraid to wear it with everything. This is like, if say I was going to work today, why not wear a statement earring? These are lightweight. It's fun to wear.
It also amps up your outfit by
Yeah.
10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think don't be afraid if something speaks to you. Don't be afraid to try it and style it and maybe wear it in scenarios that you wouldn't even expect that you'd have to wear a more statement earring to, and just have fun with it. I think don't be I my number one pet peeve is when someone says I can't pull that off.
Like me saying the belt colors.
I'm
It's
like,
a confidence
"No,
thing.
if
You
you
absolutely
like
can.
it, try it and you will pull it off. Just have the confidence."
I like to try it because I think more specific, like get one piece and take it for a spin.
Yeah.
Like I always get a little overwhelmed when I have friends or people who reach out to me being like, I just bought 10 things. Like, I can't wait to try them all. I'm like, that might overwhelm you a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
just buy this one thing, buy the silver earring, see how much you're going to wear it. Even actually, like, talking about silver, I feel like silver is really trending right now. And I have some friends who like went and bought the belt, the earrings, the cup, all these things. And I'm like, are you actually going to wear all that? after having never worn silver before in your life.
Yeah.
Like, give one thing a try and see how it fits. And
Yeah.
if the shoe fits, great. Wear
Yeah.
everything. But
Exactly.
it's better to kinda temper it and see where it works.
Yeah, one piece at a time. Doing a
Mhm.
full wardrobe rehaul is a little challenging. You have to kinda ease into it and put the
100%.
pieces in that are speaking to you.
Speaking of trends, what do you think is really trending right now in accessories?
So I don't love to say trends because I think a lot of the things I gravitate towards now are not trends. They're just a fresh texture, whatever it be. I'm obsessed with chocolate suede. We have our chocolate suede belts do amazing.
Of course, especially
Um,
right now, I feel like that's
yeah.
it's so what you just said about trending is something I've been thinking about a lot lately because I do these AMAs every weekend, and the questions I've been getting one I got the other day was like and by the way, this did not frustrate me, but someone said, "Are cargo jeans still trending?" And I was like, "Is that a trend or is that like a pants style that maybe you just rotate through in your closet?"
Yeah.
But I do
It's
think
not
that
a
like
trend.
as like fashion storytellers and journalists, like there does need to be a deeper emphasis on the difference between a trend versus just like a wardrobe
Yeah, like
thing.
something that feels fresh for the season. Like,
Exactly.
because I would never want to create things that someone buys, and then looks at next year and is like,
Nope.
oh, this was
Right.
so last year, you
Look, I
know?
do think there are things that are trendy, like bows, trendy. Like
Yeah.
we don't need to have things with bows in our closet forever. But suede right now, people are like, suede's trending,
It's like,
leopard's trending. And I'm like, so you're
no.
telling me that you get rid of your leopard every year, and then when it comes back, you bring it back. You don't just like have the leopard coat in your closet and just keep it and like wear it every once in a while when you're feeling inspired or want to try something new.
Yeah, I think that that's where your personal style starts to develop is maybe you do try out something that's considered a trend, chocolate suede or our like Bordeaux croc belt does really well. And to me, that's so not a trend. It's something that maybe just resonates with you and then you keep it in your wardrobe year after year after year. Like if you love loose jeans or the cargo pant, if that's something that you feel good in, that's so not a trend. You can wear that for eternity and now that's what gives your personal style a little bit of flair. Like we are actually launching in like 2 weeks a cow print belt and a leopard belt.
Cute.
And to me, those are classic things. They're very
Agreed.
much having a moment right now, but I think if you love it and you wear it a lot, then you'll have it in your closet forever. You can wear a leopard belt forever.
You've been really quick on not to say things are trendy, but I feel like whenever I'm on your website or on your Instagram, you guys are really good at staying relevant in the fashion conversation. The chocolate suede, the leopard, like even I would say like the studded belts that really like happened really fast and you guys were on it. Is there something that you can attribute to the like rapid growth of the brand? I know you just did an article with Forbes like saying it was an 8-figure business. Like that growth is incredible and I think really sets you apart from a lot of other influencer brands. Is there one thing she's smiling right now, and I love that because 'cause I'm so proud of her, it's very exciting to say those things. But is there one thing that you're like, "This was so crucial to our growth"?
A lot of it had to do with the new launching the new categories. I think we it's definitely about being able to see what's missing, what I was speaking to earlier, and then be at the forefront of things. I think that's also kind of my previous buyer brain is I love trend forecasting. I love figuring out what's going to be next and setting the trends. And I think right now belts is a very our most like fashion forward category as of now, where it's really easy for me to, chocolate suede's happening, make a chocolate suede belt. It's really easy to interpret what's happening in the fashion world into the accessories. But yeah, I think it has to do with just being on the forefront of trends. And I honestly think a lot of it has to just do with our quality. And we have a lot of customers who have bought, like, our repeat customer rate is very high. We have a lot of customers who own 10 plus belts from us and really trust us on what we're recommending. And I think that's what it is. I think that we're trying to I I pride myself so much in the product and what I'm actually delivering to people, and I take a lot of pride in that. And I'm someone that really appreciates and loves beautiful things in fashion, and I think it's really important that what I'm creating is stuff that I would even personally wear. I wear Orium every single day of my life because not just because I want to, market the brand, whatever. I'm wearing it around my house when I'm by myself. It's more so just because I genuinely love it and that's what I reach for. Like when we started belts, I got rid of all my designer belts. I was like, I don't need any of these belts anymore.
Wow, what a feeling.
Yeah. I think my goal for the brand is to always be doing something that's like my designer taste level for a fraction of the price and figuring out a way to make every single category the best looking piece possible and not have to charge an arm and a leg for every single thing.
That. What's your best piece of advice for a brand founder right now?
I think it needs to be very true to yourself and you have to have a reason why. The world doesn't need more products in the space. So you need to have a reason for why you're creating it, why you feel like it's filling a void in people's lives, and actually genuinely be connected to that why. I think if you kind of just are trying to do like a cash grab, people can kind of sense that, or it won't last for many years. So that would definitely be my biggest piece of advice is leaning into why you're so passionate about what you're doing, what you're creating, and what it's serving for people.
I'm so glad we got you back and IRL. What a treat.
Yeah,
Like
so much
I'm
more fun in person.
so much more fun. And I got to see you. It's been so
I
long.
know.
So long. Okay, if you guys want to shop Aureum Collective, you can go to aureumcollective.com. It's going to be linked in the description of this bio in case you don't know how to spell it. And we have a code for you guys. It's dressed20 and you'll get
20%
20% off. Oh my God, guys.
Yeah.
Run.
We
run.
love a discount.
Seriously,
we love to
run.
make it Christmas around here.
Run. Perfect
Yeah.
for the holidays. By the way, if you guys are looking for good gifts, these are the perfect gifts.
Yeah, it is.
Good earrings, good belts. Killer.
Yeah, thank you.
You're the best.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.